Minecraft is a sandbox game that allows players to explore and create virtual worlds made up of blocks, where they can gather resources, craft tools and items, build structures, and interact with the environment and other players. It offers endless possibilities for creativity, adventure, and survival in a pixelated open-world setting. Welcome to the Minecraft Guide. Follow me, XPen Sage, as I guide you through the basics of crafting, surviving, and building. Survival in Minecraft requires resource management, careful planning, and adapting to the environment. With practice and experience, you'll become more adept at navigating the game's challenges and staying alive. One particularly important aspect to keep in mind is your character's health and hunger status. You can find your health status on the left side with hearts and your hunger level on the right side with drumsticks. If your health bar depletes entirely, you will die. When you move around, run, or fight mobs, your hunger bar will slowly go down. Keeping yourself topped up at all times ensures health regeneration. There are at least 2 sustainable methods to prevent hunger during your daily grind: cultivating crops or raising livestock for meat. For now, we will focus on the process of growing and maintaining crops. The first crop readily available for cultivation is wheat. To grow wheat, we need seeds, a hoe, suitable land, and water. We can get seeds by punching tufts of grass, which will occasionally drop seeds. Locate a suitable place to plant your seeds, like a flat 9x9 area of dirt or grass with water nearby. To provide water in your farm, you need a bucket, which is crafted using 3 iron ingots. We will cover mining ores like iron in a separate guide. Scoop up water and place it in the middle of your farmland. You can only scoop up steady water sources, not flowing water. Craft a hoe and create farmland by right-clicking on dirt or grass blocks. In a short while, you will observe the newly tilled farmland turn into a darker shade of brown, indicating that it has been hydrated. Farmland needs to be within 4 blocks of water to remain suitable for growing crops, otherwise it will revert to dirt. If you don't have iron yet to craft a bucket, you can create farmlands within 4 blocks of any water source. You can even direct water towards your farm by digging trenches. Flowing water can travel 7 blocks in the same level from the source before needing a step down to continue flowing. This is something you might want to take note in planning your farms. Plant your seeds by right-clicking them on farmland. The crop will grow over time and yield wheat. When the wheat turns into this golden tone, it's ready for harvest. A basic rule in crop farming is that if you harvest before they're ready, you will only get 1 item of what you planted. Just 1 seed in the case of wheat, for example. Wheat can be crafted into bread or hay bale and can also be used to breed some animals, which will be tackled in a guide about ranching. To eat food items, click and hold the right mouse button until the item is consumed. In Minecraft Survival, you can only consume food when your hunger bar is below 100%, with the exception of bottled honey. Hay bales can also be found in villages and is actually a useful early game item, both as an easy food source and as something you can use to keep your legs intact after a long fall. This maneuver needs practice though. If you have gotten yourself buckets, you may want to create an infinite water source near your farm so that you won't have to make several trips. Creating infinite water is simple and only requires placing 2 water sources 1 block from each other. These water sources will meet and convert the middle gap into a new water source which you can scoop up infinitely. An alternative design is using 4 stair blocks facing each other in this configuration, making it possible to scoop up water from any of the corners. Alongside wheat, there are 3 other crops that you can cultivate in a similar manner: carrots, potatoes, and beetroot. These crops can often be found in village farms, and if you politely ask the residents, they might allow you to take some, although it's important to leave a portion for them as well. Additionally, carrots and potatoes can sometimes be discovered in chests of shipwrecks and pillager outposts. There's also a chance to obtain them as rare drops from zombies, husks, and zombie villagers. Right-click carrots and potatoes on farmland to plant them. For beetroot, you need to plant the seeds. Just like wheat, you need to wait for them to fully grow before harvesting. Potatoes can be eaten raw or cooked in a furnace to restore more health. There's a 2% chance that you might harvest a poisonous potato, and it's best to chuck it away as it has no use to the player. You can turn carrots into golden carrots, making it the food with the second most saturation points supplied per piece. But that quickly becomes a very expensive food item, as you'll be needing almost 1 gold ingot per golden carrot recipe. A more sustainable way of getting a steady supply of golden carrots would be from trading with villagers. Don't worry, we will have an entire guide on trading with these NPCs. Beetroot can be eaten raw or turned into beetroot soup, which restores more health. Although cultivating these crops may appear straightforward, there are essential steps to optimize their growth. First is hydration. Make sure your crops are planted on farmland no more than 4 blocks from water. If you want to avoid dipping yourself in water every time you harvest or plant, you can place a waterlogged upper half slab. Waterlogging essentially lets a non-full block, like slabs and stairs, to occupy the same space as water. With this trick, water is still there, and now you have a flat, even surface. Second is the light level. Crops can only grow on light levels 9 and above. To check light level, press F3 and locate the light level information in the debug screen. Simply place down torches or other light sources in your farm to keep them growing at their best pace. Lighting also prevents water from turning into ice cubes if you happen to farm in cold biomes. Third is crop arrangement. Growing crops in rows or columns as opposed to having just one kind in a plot allows the crops to grow faster. Alternate wheat with carrots or potatoes and you are guaranteed to have the fastest turnaround. Fourth is protecting your crops. Players or mobs can jump or trample on tilled farmland and destroy the crops. Securing your farm plots with fences or blocks will allow your crops to grow undisturbed. And if you have loose rabbits around, you may need even higher walls to keep them from eating your carrots. Fifth, crops only grow if there is a nearby player. If you go traveling far from your farm and hope to get back after a few hours to a fully grown wheat field, you'd be disappointed. A player needs to be within 128 blocks of the crops for them to continue growing. Lastly, if you are in dire need of multiplying your initial produce, use bone meal. Bone meal acts like a fertilizer, allowing crops to advance in growth and yield produce sooner. Bone meal can be crafted from bones dropped by skeletons or from composting. A composter is a block designed to transform organic matter into valuable bone meal. Right-click crops, seeds, or plant-based food items into the composter until it fills up and drops a bone meal. Crops in Minecraft do not wither or become overripe when not harvested in time, so you can just leave them be if you don't feel like soiling your feet. Pumpkins and melons are also planted in farmland, but grow somewhat differently than the previous crops. Pumpkins can be found randomly generating in the world, and you need to turn them into seeds to be planted. Melons, on the other hand, are found in jungles and savanna villages. Plant the seeds of pumpkins and melons on hydrated farmland, but leave a free dirt space adjacent to their stem to allow them to grow their produce. Melons and pumpkins will not grow more produce unless the existing ones are harvested. Only one produce can be expected per planted stem, even if there are more available free spaces around one stem. Melons can be further used in brewing, which will be discussed much further down these series. Pumpkins can be harvested, stripped of its seeds using shears, and turned into a jack-o'-lantern, a waterproof light source in the game. A carved pumpkin can be worn by a player or placed on top of these fences as a decorative scarecrow. Next, we have the sugarcane. You can find these near riverbanks as they only grow immediately next to water. You can plant sugarcane on dirt, grass, sand, moss, and mud, but must be directly next to water or a waterlogged block. They grow up to a maximum of 3 blocks, and you can harvest them by punching the upper 2 blocks, leaving the bottom block to regrow. Sugarcane can be turned into sugar, an ingredient to make cakes and pumpkin pies. There are more uses to sugarcane, and it will be featured in future episodes of this guide. Cocoa beans are found growing in the trunk of jungle trees. Punch a fully grown cocoa pod to get 3 cocoa beans. Then create yourself some delicious cookies by combining wheat and cocoa beans. If you like to grow more cocoa pods back in your base, make sure to take home some jungle logs. Please don't feed your parrots with cookies as it will kill them. If you find yourself in the vicinity of a taiga biome, you'll have the opportunity to harvest sweet berries. These thorny plants yield berries effortlessly, requiring no watering or constant attention. Moreover, they serve as natural barriers, preventing mobs from crossing over. In case you frequently prick yourself while gathering berries in your farm, consider placing a slab or a trapdoor on top of the berries to avoid accidental contact with their spikes. Mushrooms naturally grow on podzol, mycelium, or dimly lit areas such as caves. They come in 2 colors, red and brown, and have giant variants as large as trees. You can punch these giant mushrooms to get the regular small ones of the same color. Mushrooms can be crafted into mushroom or rabbit stew, and is also an ingredient in alchemy potions. More of those on a later guide. In your first day, you may have picked up some apples while chopping down trees. Apples are occasional drops from oak and dark oak leaves. They can be crafted into golden apples, which in turn can be used to easily tame horses and heal zombified villagers. Food items provide different levels of saturation and restore different levels of hunger. On top of the list are golden carrots, cooked steak, and pork chop, and you'll be eating less frequently if you consume these food items. There are more food-related items and mechanics for you to discover, and we have deliberately left them out for you to uncover and explore. Building and maintaining crop farms is fun, but you may soon feel the need to complete your food experience and unlock more recipes by raising livestock. And that's exactly what we'll be doing in the next episode. Until then, though, this has been Expensage, and I look forward to seeing you in the next guide.